pacing, I want to see the pacing. Can I see your pacing?
Pacing goes on your, like as you come, as you speak,
Okay, so she'll adjust the pacing.
she'll make it like,
Okay, okay, all right.
yeah, it's not just like a play, it goes down.
Okay.
It goes along like that.
Good afternoon. I'm Kevin Captain, Community Information Director for Volusia County Government, and today is November 8th, 2022. Unfortunately, coastal Volusia County is now under a hurricane warning from Tropical Storm Nicole, and our inland area is under a tropical storm warning. Overnight, the storm's trajectory shifted northward, increasing the landfall proximity to Volusia County. We all need to be mindful, however, that the storm's track remains uncertain. It could still shift north or south as it reaches closer to Florida. Volusia County officials are continuing to work closely with our municipalities, FEMA, the Florida Division of Emergency Management, and other partners to identify measures to best inform and protect those within our community. After lengthy and in-depth collaboration with our emergency partners, and out of an abundance of caution, the county has issued a mandatory evacuation order for certain areas in Volusia County. This is necessary because many of our coastal properties sustained significant damage from Hurricane Ian, and with this storm's wave run-up and storm surge, some structures have increased vulnerability for further damage or collapse. Emergency Management Director Jim Judge is going to go into a little more detail about why we made this decision. This order will commence at 9 a.m. tomorrow, Wednesday, November 9th, for all persons from the included areas, such as any and all areas east of the Intercoastal Waterway, any and all manufactured and mobile home dwellers east of Interstate 95, all low-lying areas and other areas prone to flooding, and any and all campsites and recreational vehicle parks. Evacuees are encouraged to relocate with family or friends. That's your best choice. You might also consider a lodging establishment, a motel or hotel, but you do need to complete your evacuation by 4 p.m. tomorrow, Wednesday, November 9th. County residents of manufactured and mobile homes and persons with special needs are strongly encouraged to evacuate. Each municipality is responsible for the enforcement and implementation of this order for their respective jurisdictions. We will provide you with additional updates at the conclusion of this conference, but at this time I'd like to introduce County Manager George Rechtenwald to say a few words. Mr. Rechtenwald?
Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, I want to take this opportunity to encourage our citizens to take this storm seriously. This incoming storm is a direct threat to both property and life. If you live in an area that has been issued a mandatory evacuation order, please follow this order. Our infrastructure, especially along the coastline, is very vulnerable at this time due to the effects of Hurricane Ian. A low category hurricane or even a tropical storm will cause more damage than usual due to the weakened infrastructure we have. If you were impacted with flooding from Hurricane Ian, then you can expect to be impacted by this upcoming storm as well. If you live in a low-lying area, or if your home is located near a lake, a river, a tributary, then you need to take the risk of flooding very seriously. County offices will be closed to the public Thursday, November 10th. Please be advised also that county offices were already scheduled to be closed in honor of Veterans Day. But please be assured, however, that the majority of the county staff are working around the clock making preparations for Tropical Storm Nicole. And as always, we will work through, during, and after the storm to ensure the safety and public protection property of our residents here in Volusia County. Please take this storm seriously. With that, I'm going to pass it on to our emergency manager, Jim Judge, who will give you the latest update on the storm.
Thank you very much, George. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Well, of course, at 10 o'clock this morning, Volusia County was placed under a hurricane warning as Nicole continues to move toward the east coast of Florida. And as Mr. Rechtenwald mentioned, the exact point of landfall is still yet to be determined. However, it is going to be somewhere near, whether it's Brevard County, a little further south, or even potential more up toward our area. So we're taking every precaution necessary to be able to inform and protect our citizens. So storm surge. Right now, storm surge along the coast is up between 3 and 5 feet. 6 feet of storm surge is not out of the question. We currently do have dangerous coastal and marine conditions that are occurring well ahead of the storm. Onshore winds, we can anticipate 45 to 60 mile per hour winds all throughout Volusia County and Category 1 wind gusts. Wave action, anywhere from 10 to 12 feet. And of course, that's on top of the storm surge. We have a full moon on top of that, so you get the idea. Some pretty significant conditions along the coast as we go forward. The Halifax River, our intercoastal, it could increase up to 2 to 3 feet. So for those individuals who live along the intercoastal, both on the east and west side, should pay close attention to the river and potential for that to come over your docks, maybe even up into your backyards. Rainfall amount, 4 to 6 inches across the county. 8 inches in pockets is not out of the question either. So we have experienced a great deal of rainfall with Ian, and again, 4 to 6 inches with higher amounts potentially. Volusia County, we're currently at a level 2 in the Emergency Operations Center. We will go to a level 1, which is full activation with our emergency support functions, our power companies, and lots of folks in the EOC to be able to continue through the day Wednesday night, overnight, and through the day Thursday until conditions improve. We will have 4 shelters open, 2 on the east side, 2 on the west side. We do have Creekside and Heritage will be our special needs shelters, and then also Hinson and University High School will be our general population shelters. And our superintendent, along with Dr. Johnson, has additional schools on standby should the need arise. The county fair will be closed, given those conditions, so we want to make sure that everyone knows that the county fair will close. And again, starting tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., a mandatory evacuation for the coastal areas, given the conditions that we see coming in, out of abundance of caution, and to protect the citizens. And as the county manager mentioned, you know, we urge people to take the mandatory evacuation order seriously. And with those 4 schools, of course, we always say our schools are a lifeboat, not the love boat. And while they do provide a great source of security to be able to house through the storm, certainly staying with friends and family or even a hotel, motel further inland is also a good choice. The system is forecast to move fairly quickly at about 9 miles an hour. Early this morning, we were looking at the potential for conditions to continue around midday Friday. But as of the 11:45 briefing, it looks like by around 8 p.m. Thursday evening that the system should be moving away and conditions greatly improving. We continue to have briefings with our city officials. In fact, just got off the phone with all of the city managers with a full briefing for them. And then, of course, we're in constant contact with the Florida Division of Emergency Management, the National Hurricane Center, the National Weather Service out of Melbourne and Jacksonville, and then, of course, communicating with our regional partners in the Region 5 counties from Volusia down to Martin County. And with that, let me pass it off to our Beach Safety Director, Andy Etheridge.
Thank you, Jim. Good afternoon. Chief Andy Etheridge with Beach Safety. With a quick update on the beach, we are flying the double red flag. We are already seeing extremely large, powerful waves coming on shore, and with that, it's going to bring extremely dangerous rip currents and conditions. This is not the time to be on the beach, so I am asking you all, please stay off the beach, stay out of the water. As this storm gets closer, these conditions are only going to get worse. So the currents will get stronger, the waves will get larger, and it will not be the time to go out there. There will be a time when this storm passes. Until that time comes, we ask that you find a safe place to shelter and stay off the beach and stay out of the water. With that, I'd like to introduce Dr. Carmen Balgobin with the Volusia County School System.
Good afternoon, families. I'm Dr. Balgobin, Superintendent for Volusia County Public Schools. Standing with me here today, we have our school board chair, Mr. Ruben Colon, Chief of Human Resources, Mr. Mark West, and Chief of Operation Officer, Dr. Earl Johnson. Here are some important information I would like to share with you as it regards to our shelters. All schools and administrative offices will be closed on the following 2 days, Wednesday, November the 9th, and Thursday, November the 10th. There will be no school-sponsored activities during the 2 days that schools and administrative offices are closed. Also, the school board meeting and the school board workshop, originally scheduled for November the 9th, have been rescheduled to Tuesday, November the 15th. The shelters will be open by 10 a.m. tomorrow, November the 9th, at the following school locations. On the east side of the county, Hinson Middle School for special needs individuals and those who are considered medically fragile students. Creekside Middle School will be available for the general public. On the west side of the county, Heritage Middle School for special needs individuals and those who are medically fragile. University High School will be available for the general public. All 4 shelters are pet-friendly. Regarding the makeup days, the 2 days of instruction being missed due to the storm will be made up during the second semester of the school year. And again, for the latest updates from Volusia County Public Schools, we ask that you please visit our website at vcsedu.org, vcsedu.org, and click for the Resource Center where you will receive additional updates. And also, I would like to, at this point, to thank everyone that have joined me here, our chair Colon, Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Earl Johnson, and our Chief for Human Resources, Mr. Mark West. And I would like to call up here to join us now for an update, our very own Sheriff Chitwood.
Thank you, Doctor, for not referring to me as the sheriff, as you are the superintendent.
Good afternoon. I want to stress what you have just heard. The county manager and the county is taking this storm with the utmost seriousness. The fact that a mandatory evacuation order was issued was not something that was taken lightly. It was taken after consulting with engineers, with our cities up on the peninsula. There are buildings that are in imminent risk of collapsing. So effective tomorrow night at 7 p.m. until 7 a.m. Thursday morning, there is a county-wide curfew in place. The beach side, in particular, the peninsula, will be locked down. We will not be allowing anyone back over there unless they're a resident to go pick up supplies. Again, the objective here is this is a real safety hazard to our residents and to our community. So we need you to heed this. This is not the time to have hurricane fatigue. This is the time to think. What is about to happen to us is going to be unprecedented. What Ian left us, we have not recovered from. A word of caution, if you have flooded during Hurricane Ian, there's a good chance that you're going to flood again here. So now is the time to make preparations. But we really want to focus on the folks in the beachside and the low-lying areas, as everybody has talked about. Now is the time to get out. Get off the peninsula, move further west, and then we'll all come back and regroup again on Thursday afternoon or on Friday. But safety of our residents is paramount, and all of these decisions were made just for that reason. The safety of our community has to come first. So, thank you. Thank you, Sheriff. So, just got a few additional announcements before we close. First, please remember that if you require sheltering, reaching out to your family or close friends is always the best option. Or you might even consider a motel or hotel. Emergency shelters are considered the lifeboat, not the love boat. They're a last resort. A message to the residents of Stone Island, Lake Harney Woods, and other communities that experience significant flooding but are not necessarily within the zone of evacuation. We still remind you that there is still, again, a potential for widespread flooding. And to all Volusia County residents, this storm could easily impact your home and property, even though you're not located in a particular evacuation zone. The Volusia County Fair, as Jim mentioned, will be closed today, November 8th, and tomorrow, November 9th. However, the Market Swine Show will proceed as originally scheduled at 6 p.m. today, November 8th. The show will be limited to only exhibitors and their guardians. Additionally, all poultry and other small animals will need to be checked out by 5 p.m. today, November 8th. An announcement will be made regarding the fair's reopening as soon as the information is made available. The Disaster Recovery Center with FEMA at the Florida Department of Health in Daytona Beach will close at 6 p.m. today, November 8th. It will be closed until further notice, but will reopen as soon as possible. And as a reminder, residents that are, you're not required to physically visit the Disaster Recovery Center to apply for FEMA assistance. A person needing FEMA assistance may apply online at disasterassistance.gov. Or you can also download the FEMA mobile app, or you can call 800-621-3362. Also, as a reminder to what Beach Safety Director and Chief Andy Etheridge just mentioned, please stay off the beach and all the coastal structures. There is a substantial increase of bodily harm or even death in these conditions. Even once the storm exits our area, the beach and the coastal structures should be avoided until clearance is provided by officials. With the anticipation and coverage of the storm, please be mindful that today is Election Day and poll locations are open until 7 p.m. If you've not already done so, please exercise your right to vote, and thank you to everyone who has already done so. This is also the time, as we mentioned, to complete any final preparations. Conditions are going to start to deteriorate tomorrow, this evening and into tomorrow. So as a reminder, make sure that if you have food, water, batteries, anything that you need to do to secure your home or your property, there's going to be a little time to make those preparations tomorrow as the inclement weather comes forward. Sand and sandbag distributions are still available. Weather may not be favorable to obtain this stuff tomorrow, so if you need sandbags, please go out and get them today. And for a listing of sandbag distribution locations, you can visit volusia.org/sandbags, or you can call the Citizens Information Center. Again, to receive the most up-to-date information, please visit volusia.org/PIN. You can download the Volusia County Emergency Management app. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or you can call, again, the Citizens Information Center, which is 866-345-0345. Again, for additional questions, anything that you need, you can certainly call the Citizens Information Center. So with that, we can take questions.
Can you repeat the details of the evacuation?
So the question is details of the evacuations. Any and all areas east of the Intercoastal Waterway. Any and all manufactured and mobile home dwellers east of Interstate 95. All low-lying areas and other areas prone to flooding. And any and all campsites and RV parks. We'll have this listing online at volusia.org. You can call the Citizens Information Center with it. And we also continue to encourage to watch Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and the Emergency Management app. We'll have it all out on those platforms. Sheldon?
Beach News Journal. People, homeowners should not go back to their homes.
Jim?
What was it? I'm sorry, could you repeat the question, please?
For property owners, should they not go back to their homes until those structures are cleared if they have someone kind of on the verge of there?
Absolutely. You know, we want to be able to get on the beaches right after the storm to be able to determine what are the conditions for the beach, what does the debris look like, not only along the beach, but potentially in the water. So if you get a lot of debris that could wash up, could potentially cause injury. So we would rather have the chance to get down, evaluate, and then take whatever safety precautions we would need to take before we let folks back over there. And certainly with the curfews to make sure that law enforcement is protecting those valuables and homes to make sure that we're not having any problems with looters.
Jim, can you address the bridges at this point? They won't close until that sustained wind is at, what, 39?
Yes, that's
So
correct.
But despite this mandatory evacuation, despite the curfew, the bridges will remain open unless the wind hits that mark.
Right. 39-mile-an-hour sustained.
Westbound, they will remain open. Once that curfew goes into effect, we're not letting anybody on the peninsula. You can leave, but you can't get back on unless you're
So westbound people can get out, but once the curfew starts Wednesday night,
Of the beach side, you're not getting back up there.
but you make exceptions for residents.
For residents, they can go back to their home, because they may choose not to evacuate, but they want to go back to their home. We can't forcibly make you leave your home. We're strongly encouraging.
We asked the sheriff to go up to talk about this. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so you're not going to actually, force anyone out?
We can't. Legally, we can't. That's not American. But what we are saying is mandatory. We want you to get off, okay? So you'll be able to drive eastbound at any point in time. If it gets hairy for you and you're like, I'm going to go, we'll let you out. We're not going to allow non-residents, once that curfew goes into effect, we're not allowing any gawkers up there so they can go on the beach and take pictures they're not doing that. It's going to be a complete lockdown. We're going to have a strong contingency of deputies up there, and we're going to be married with Daytona, with Ormond, with Ponce Inlet. We're going to be up there in force. And the objective behind this is something I said. There are lots and lots of properties. The sheriff's office went out to visit homeowners. County has been out. County engineering has been out. There is an imminent danger of building collapse up there. And the last thing we want is to have gawkers up there if a building were to come down, or if you chose to evacuate, to have your house burglarized. That's just not going to happen. We're not going to tolerate that. So that's what it is. If you're a resident, you want to leave, you can leave. The bridges will always do what we always do. At 39 miles an hour, we'll shut it down. If you want to go up there and you think you're going to go up there, as we've seen years ago, people doing burnouts and wheelies and having a grand old time at the height of the storm, you might find your rear end out at the branch jail, and you'll be nice and dry out there.
Thank you. Is there a map available, or do you have a list of specific zones that are being evacuated? I just want to make it really clear who should evacuate.
Do we have the greatest sheriff in this county or what? Basically, the entire barrier island.
You only have one sheriff in this county, Jim.
Any other questions? Just to build on that question too, Sheldon, there's lots of information on volusia.org. And again, if anybody's in doubt, they can call the Citizens Information Center, and we encourage them to do that if they have any questions. All right, we will continue to keep you informed. We certainly want to make sure that you receive this message, that we stress it, and that you stay alert. So with that, we'll close today's conference. We'll keep you informed. Take care, stay safe, and help your neighbors.